For Chief Judge Francis Tydenko Gatewood, a quick read of reports on the state of healthcare provided at DEPCOR, quote, sounds like a huge crisis, end quote. As DEPCOR Medical Director Dr. Raja Saad took the stand today, he confirmed it is. During a status hearing with the U.S. Department of Justice on the line, Dr. Saad reported there is a TB crisis on DEPCOR grounds. It was earlier this year he confirmed an active case of TB among pretrial detainees, which prompted a mass screening. Although they aren't active cases, he confirms that of the over 500 tested to date, 158 have acquired the bacteria, requiring them to take medications for the full duration of 6 to 9 months. Should these individuals leave the jail without treatment, he says they, quote, put the community at risk, end quote. But it's not just TB that's raising red flags. It's a daily struggle to meet minimal health care standards, with only him and 2 nurses on staff to cater to the 740 DEPCOR population. According to a graph provided today, Dr. Saad was only able to see half of the 461 prisoners who made a sick call and requested to see a doctor back in February. And this only covers medical care, not mental or dental. Because they're so short-staffed, he says corrections officers are responsible for dispensing medicines. Although this isn't recommended, it's necessary for prisoners to attain their medicines and may have resulted in reported missing prescriptions. In addition to being short-staffed, he says they lack medical supplies, forcing him to borrow from a private clinic and lack medical equipment, including hospital beds and exam tables. And Dr. Saad can only cover medical care. As he states, any mental health needs are referred to the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, but often goes without follow-ups. As for dental care, DEPCOR's contract with Public Health ended last year. That arrangement, however, only allowed for 4 patients to be seen per week and only for an evaluation or extraction. While on the stand, Dr. Saad admitted to being apprehensive to speak up, fearing he would, quote, be marked by his superiors. As he noted today, he suspects his former colleague, Dr. Andrea Lighthouser, didn't have her contract renewed because she spoke up on the dire needs of the department. He added, quote, as a doctor, I can't ignore these things. I have to bring it up, end quote. He also notes together he and Dr. Lighthouser compiled a binder of operational recommendations which would help bring DEPCOR into compliance with mandates. As he revealed today, he was given instructions not to distribute the binder and could only do so under the approval of DEPCOR Director Jose San Agustin. While the hearing broke for lunch, San Agustin provided media with his reactions to the allegations from Dr. Saad.
Okay, but no, there's no one marked here. I would love to continue to employ them, but they need to be under my terms. They need to follow my directions, okay? And I'll be more than happy to entertain their direction. But, you know, I know what I'm doing. All I'm asking is, let's work together, let's move forward. If I'm not a hard-headed person, but I got a job to do. And my job is to make sure that I accomplish the mission of DOC, and that's to take care of the inmates, detainees, and all the officers and employees of the Department of Corrections.
As for the binder of recommendations, San Agustin says the binder was compiled at his request, which is why he's exercising executive privilege. He notes that by sharing the binder, he feared the information would instead be used against DEPCOR instead of help.
I'm not a doctor, but I know what I gotta do. And I could say this again, and I'll say this over and over. DOC has came a long ways with regards to meeting the mandates that it's been mandated with all the from the stipulated agreement of 1991.
Meanwhile, court monitor attorney Bradley Clem, who submitted the initial report on the state of healthcare at DEPCOR, declined to comment until proceedings completed, as well as Assistant Attorney General Donna Lawrence. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.